the 13th of August 2024. I'm doing up my vertical slide, improving it and reconditioning it. And what I want you to look at there, do you see the four? There's an empty hole. That's just some mistake or other, or an oil hole. But there are four angled plungers, little plungers there, and I'll show you what they're for. Now I'm adding 4 jib screws, 2BA, hard to get at the moment, better off 5mm, fine if you could get them, but 2BA, and over here then at this end, and I'm having big difficulty with my camera, you have the jib slip or the jib wedge. See it there. Now you've already seen, I think you may have seen it there. I'll try and turn around. The little plungers, right? Now they differ from the normal commercial ones in that normally the screw just butts up against this. This is a cast iron shim or cast iron wedge, and it's not a good idea to have the screw button up. You're better off having some kind of a plunger that'll widen the space and give a bigger area of space. You see there now. There. Now, so that's going there. This here goes in then into an adjustment here. See there. Very, very difficult. Do you see it there? That's how the commercial one will work. See that there? So that goes in there like that. And that then provides a cast iron bearing surface against the male part. So again, folks, I've only 2 hands. Here's the dovetail that fits in to the dovetail on this one. See the dovetail here. See the idea. And then you can tighten. The idea, the change in this now is that you can tighten the jib screws. I'll not be able to finish today. You can show you, maybe I would. You can tighten the jib screws to tighten it and tighten it up any way you wish. Now you see it's been pushed on. Very difficult not to hit the wrong button here. It's been pushed on, you see. See that? On down like that. Now you can tighten the jib screws or loosen them. When you loosen 3, it should move. Now it's not easy to get me to get it to move. See, it's moving there. If you tighten one of them, it shouldn't move. So the idea is you can tighten all 4 when you really want to jam it, that you don't want it to move. And then you can open it and adjust it. Now those screws will be cut. I couldn't get BA screws any different, so they'll be cut and just some type of a square head just to catch a vice grips. They'll only be adjusted very seldom. Now these little screws here are little knock nuts. So when I get it set up, I'll be adjusting these jib screws so that these little nuts just keep it away a little bit from the slide so that it's free to slide but it has no slack. So here you see the dovetail protruding out the back, and see how it works. And the jib screws are next towards me here on it. You see them there. Now this Allen bolt is down into the surface, below the surface. That's counter bore. Counter bore is where the head of the bolt or whatever is down in the surface, below the surface, and beds up against a flat surface, not an angled surface. That's counter bore. This is my slide depth control, a new one I made up out of mild steel, and this one has a counter sink. Counter sink, the bottom of it is an angle. You'll get them in any hardware shop, counter sink bolts. Whereas there's a special bolt and you have to get a special cutter to cut out the counter sink. That's different to a counter bore. So now, folks, you see the depth control on the side of the unit now. You see it there, how it's bolted in with the 2 countersunk bolts. I think they're 6mm, and then 2 6mm cup head or Allen bolts. They're not countersink, they just feed in. They're very spaced. They don't take up too much space. They're very handy for that purpose. Now, so you get the idea now. So now, folks, I've managed to hold this. My fingers are getting in the way. Not easy with lenses here and there. There's your slide. There's your nut and lead screw, and here it is. Now this is the extra bit. This is the depth control. Do you see how it is here now, folks? I'll just point here with the file. Here is the head. That bolt fits in. Then you have two nuts each side. And the idea of the two nuts is you can adjust them, you can tighten them. Do you see? See them here now, see here. Tighten them up. And you can set your slide. These then will butt up against with just two nuts. So that's rigid, that won't move. Now if you look here where I'm pointing the spanner, or get a pointer, this here is bored, this one here is drilled through. There's no thread here. There's no thread here on this one, but there is thread here. This is threaded in 8mm in there. So this is the only one threaded. So it's tightened down so that the middle 8mm bolt, metric bolt, coarse bolt is in place. And then you see how you can bolt it in place so that if you want to mill or drill a hole or do something, you have it tied here to the front. You want to do that, you can hold it steady. Now, people will point out about an untidy workshop and all that, but you need everything just beside you. And right, tidiness sometimes can go with lack of action too. So will we see now, can we do any more for you? Well, I think we'll end it at that. There's the back of this, the back of it has an 8mm bolt. Now there's an example there of a counter board bolt. Do you see that there? That's counter board as opposed to counter sunk. Two different things. So you see the bolt protruding, and that bolt there can be accessed through. Do you see the hole in the face of the slide? You have to get in the right position. There's the slide there, and there's it at an angle. So that just centers it. Well, then there's holding bolts then that will allow you to bolt it at any angle. So it's a vertical milling slide made out of mild steel. And I was kind of wondering, well, sure, it'd be better made out of cast iron or one of the pieces. But then I began to see the commercial ones on sale online are made out of aluminium. So definitely bright mild steel, far better than aluminium. And I'll keep it well oiled and well lubricant. And I'll adjust it up now. You see, there's my jib screws. They'll be cut off. And I'll make sure not to let the dust get on the moving parts, and then they'll adjust it so that as well as having it seized on this point that it can't move, these can be tightened up as well or loosened as suits, so that the lever will move with a nice tightness, but not too tight, if you get me point. So that's it all, folks. There'll be a bit of extra work to do. Not easy to hold the camera, and you might wonder why the petrol is in the dish. That's to clean it. That's to clean all the surfaces, get them spotlessly clean, and then oil them with only well-known good oil, good quality oil, then to get them lubricated. Goose grease is good too if it's loose, but goose grease can be a bit thick in the wintertime, like myself, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, I'm joking. So that's the story now with the vertical slide.